Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Healing Connections podcast. I'm your host, Emmy Vadnais, and today we are talking about meaning through service with Reena Singh, who is a holistic occupational therapist and founder of the Khushi Therapy Center based in Mumbai, India. She believes that the mind and body are connected and combines complementary therapies and integral health techniques in her practice to help her clients at a deeper level. She has worked with neurodiverse kids and their families for 21 years and is the author of 2 fabulous books, Little Parenting Guru and Looking Beyond Labels, Becoming a Mindful Parent. Welcome, Reena. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
You recently interviewed me for your YouTube channel, and thank you for that. And I just wanted to get started talking about, during our conversation, what really struck me was how much service is important to you. And it is to me as well. And I think to a lot of people. And I thought it would be great to focus on this topic. So why is service so important to you?
Service was the word that I was introduced to when I was very, very young. And the kind of religious or the cultural background from where I came, it was more about going to like how you have a church, we go to a gurudwara. So we were just taken by our parents, by my grandparents, and they would just take me to the gurudwara and they would say, you have to do service, you have to do service. We used to call it seva. You have to do seva, you have to do seva. That's what they used to keep telling us. And my very, very, very earliest memories are also always sitting in a gurudwara. That's what I think I grew up listening to and doing, everything. Every small little thing, it was like, be of service, be of service, be useful, be useful. That's how it was. It started by being in the gurudwara. That means it was earlier only over there. And then I think as I grew up, I realized that I don't have to only be in a gurudwara and do service. I can do it at any other place. And I feel I have a very, very strong connection to this word service because my memories are of service are related to my dad, to my grandmom, and who are no longer there now. So whenever I do this service, whatever, I I feel I am with them. I feel they are with me. I feel they're just with me. So I feel that's what I am looking at. So service is important for me because it makes me feel whole, complete. I feel, this is what I feel, and this is how I've grown up, that I am in this human body for a reason. I am on this earth for a reason. Everyone has their own reasons. Everyone has their own spiritual curriculum. And maybe for me, it is working with kids who are neurodiverse, adults, and their families. And, in the earliest as in when I was like just started working as an occupational therapist, and my dad used to be there with me earlier. Now he's no longer there with us. He's moved and passed over. But he used to always tell me, like I used to always tell my dad, Daddy, this child is improving so fast. I'm doing the same amount of work, and this child is not improving that fast. I am giving the same amount of service. What's not happening? What's not going right? How can I make it better? And he told me one story, which I have put in my book also. And I just, like it's my, what you say, main principle that guides me in my service. He told me that, when you draw water from a well, the rope is always making an impression on that rock there. It's a hard, solid rock, and the rope is like a, but constantly when you do it every day, every day, every day, after many years or months, the rope will leave an impression on the rock. The rope is not wanting to do that. It just happens because of persistence and determination. So he said, you just do what you feel right. Listen to your inner voice and just do something. He always said, service is important because when you do something for someone, and I don't even believe that I'm doing it for someone. I feel I'm doing it for myself actually all the time. When I'm giving, I'm actually receiving. So when you do it for someone, that there's this inner fountain or that inner spring in which you start bathing. That's what starts happening to me. And I love that it's like an addiction. So that's why service is so important for me. And I don't think I'm doing it for anyone else. I'm doing it for myself because I feel I'm more connected to my dad, to my grandmom, both paternal and maternal, because that's how I grew up. Service, service, service,
Mm. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that with all of us. So beautiful, so inspiring. And so when you were growing up, your family taught you how important service is. And it's interesting, I'm here in the United States, and of course, being of service is important, but I think people put emphasis on work. You need to go have a job to make money, to be independent, and so forth. And of course, people who I think are maybe taught similar to how you were taught, that they want to choose a vocation, a job that's in alignment, that gives them that meaning and purpose, that is maybe part of their gifts they're meant to serve here on this planet. Why do you feel your family made it so important or valuable? What did they say that service does for you or for the people you serve? Why do you think that they stress that so much early on in your life?
I think because, and I think it's part of everybody's religious background. And I think we're all made to do that as a part of growing up. I think my grandparents really insisted that you do service, service, service because it was a part of the Gurudwara thing, like a type of a religious thing that you need to do it. That was one. But I love my dad because what he said is, and I was very, in my earlier years, up to the age of 15, I was always in the Gurudwara, either serving food to people or cleaning their, putting their footwear in the right place, cleaning it. I mean, I was doing all of that kind of a stuff. And I thought that's all that I need to do. And my dad pulled me out of that. And he said, that is important. But service is not just about being in the Gurdwara. It is about serving people in general. And I don't know why he emphasized what made him feel that. I have absolutely no idea. But all throughout, it was always emphasized. And maybe I think it was a part of the religious background and the religious trainings that we had. That's all I think, because I think that was the only reason why they emphasized it. I think he manifested this life for me, because he was like, everybody would ask, what would Reena grow up and become? She'll do service, she'll do service, she'll do service, she'll do service. And I want to also say one thing, because it really helped me, definitely. But somewhere, growing up, I realized, and I kind of made that connection. Maybe my dad didn't tell me, but I kind of made that connection that when you work and you're offering service, you shouldn't charge. That's what came to my mind. And that was very wrong. So what happened in the initial years were people would come to me as, my clients and all, we can't pay you. Is it okay? And I used to be like, okay, no problem. So I used to charge like very, like peanuts. To the point that I thought, no, I shouldn't charge. That was kind of ingrained in my mind, which did not help me. And I had to work through that to realize that it's okay to charge people if you are giving that good quality service. But I feel that's how that religion background was, and that's how it was.
Mm-hmm. And can you share what religion that is?
That is called Sikhism, because in Sikhism, that's how it is. So my dad, in Sikhism, we're supposed to tie a turban and we're not supposed to cut hair. And there was like this, there are a whole lot of things there. But my dad had cut his hair and I never understood why is he not. So he was very different. I think he had his own thinking. And I just, like a pot, like a clay, how he can just mold you. And I just got molded. Later, of course, I added up my own thoughts, but those basic principles, I am still soaked in them, So that's what I feel.
Oh, and you've clearly helped so many people. And how has the service of occupational therapy and the way that you've supported children and families all of these years enhanced your life?
God, how has it enhanced my life? It has made me who I am. I mean, I was, of course, it's like, I was a diamond and it has polished me to become the diamond, like, what I'm trying to, I don't know if I can express it well, but I was very raw. I was not polished. And, when I worked with kids, I think the families, the parents, the kids, all of them have shaped me into who I am today. They've made me more patient. They've made me more calmer. They've made me connect and believe in myself. They've made me connect to my higher self within me, which I now know exists. I always knew it existed, but to believe in the higher self within you, it is a process. So I think occupational therapy and working with kids and families has left a big, what I would say, an imprint, on my whole soul. Rather, I would say I'll die and I'll take it away with me in my soul. I'll leave my body here, but I'll take my soul along.
Oh, I love that, Reena. Yes, because
Mhm.
it seems that when we serve or provide, in our case, we're both occupational therapists, therapy or healing services to others, we are healed. We receive.
Yes.
And you mentioned that being bathed in that well earlier and can you describe a little bit more of what that experience is like when you're serving others, but it's almost like it's divinely created, really.
It is actually, and I think it's true for all of us. I think we all feel that, because at least that's how it is for me. And I see that it's getting what you call, the more I give. So I'm getting like addicted into this thing, give, receive, 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 that way. And so what happens is after meditation, how's that state where you are in that, in Punjabi is a language that we speak. It's called Sahaj Avastha. Sahaj is, you are in a state where sadness doesn't bother you, happiness doesn't bother you, ecstasy doesn't bother you. You see it all, but you're very objective. You're like, okay, yeah, it's happening. You are witnessing it, but not flowing with it. So I think that's what it does to me. And it's like a what you call, and how do I say it? It's like a bottomless pit, okay, from where the spring, it's an infinite, what you call, unending source of that chemical. I don't know what releases, in fact, I was speaking to one friend of mine, and I didn't know this, and she's a craniosacral therapist, and I told her, do you know, I feel something over here, okay, like the dropper. Now that's how I was talking, very crude. I said, the dropper that the ear, what you call, the medicine that we put in a ear, the dropper. I said, something like a dropper is dropping, it's like tuck, 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 like a something that flows over here. And I said, I don't know what that is, but when it flows, my whole body feels very calm. She said, yeah, that's very common. That's called dynamic stillness. I said, acha, there's a word for it. She's like, yeah, it's very common. It happens. I'm like, okay. So that's what I experience. I don't know if I'm able to express, but and when that happens, it feels as if my entire body from head to toe, my each and every bone, every joint, it's like, when you give your car for servicing or your bike for servicing, and when you take it back, how it becomes very smooth. So I feel that very smooth in my body, that very light in my body. So it's beautiful. I hope that's what you asked me.
Yes, that's a beautiful description. So it's very much sounds like similar to being in the flow. When you are giving, you're also receiving, and it's just kind of being in that state. I think that's a beautiful description and very well said. So how did you know you wanted to serve this way and become an occupational therapist? What led you into the occupational therapy profession?
Okay, that's a great question, because as I said, I knew service, 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 service. But what about service? What do I do? And I loved kids from childhood. I loved playing with kids always. And I knew that I want to do something with kids. And I think I just got to know there's something called occupational therapy where you can work with mental health also. I didn't know it very well, but I knew that you can work with mental health. You can help families. And the best thing was, you can talk to people also. And like, I loved talking, I loved playing. So I asked a few people, and they said, you can work with mental health, you can play with kids, and you can make a living. And I was like, wow, that's the combination, that I wanted. So that's how it was. I think I just came into it. And once I finished my occupational therapy, I started observing a senior occupational therapist, and she used to work with kids who had cerebral palsy, and she used to do NDT, like typical exercises,
neurodevelopmental
neurodevelopmental treatment. And I was like, no, maybe I made a wrong choice, because this is not what I want to do. I just don't want to only like give exercises. And then she said, I see that you're not really interested. Are you okay if I give you one child who has a diagnosis of autism, and see if that is something that you would love to work with? And then I started working with one child, and I had, by God's grace, I've always had someone like a mentor to guide me. And then from one to next to next, it was like unending. It still continues. And I love, because I get to work. It's very challenging, because if you work with one child with autism, the next child is not the same. It's very, very different. The symptoms may be the same, everything, sensory issues may be the same, but the child will respond very differently. And it responds very differently because if the family, as in if the parents are grounded, calm, relaxed, and parenting from a state of being centered, then the child responds very differently. So I felt, wow, it's like, I get that opportunity to be with the child and to be with the parents, like to work. And I loved it. And I think that's how I got into it. And I'm still enjoying. It's beautiful. I'm just going deeper and deeper and deeper,
Definitely. Yes. And how you mentioned that every child or every person who we serve is different. And then that's also an opportunity to learn something new as well, right? Because every session you're learning something new, right?
Obviously, yeah. Because, see, what happened is, I think when I started working initially, I got a lot of clients, and I was very successful, I would say. I mean, I had a lot of patients, lots of clients. I had my center and everything. And then I got married and I had a son. And then when my son was born, I was on like, I know everything in this world. I am the best occupational therapist. That was what I thought. And then my son was born, and he thought, let me show her what being humble means. You need to be rooted. And my son he was very strong-willed, very sensitive, very, very, very strong-headed, seemed like he had some sensory issues also. And I was not able to help him out. That's what I thought. And then with his behaviors, because I couldn't help him with what I knew, I couldn't help him with just occupational therapy. I couldn't help him with just primitive reflex integration. I couldn't do SI, and that alone didn't help him. Therapeutic listening. I tried like everything. And I was like, what's wrong? And then that developmental pediatrician said, Reena, you are anxious. You are passing your anxiety to your child. I said, don't tell me that. I am not anxious. I know how to keep myself calm. She said, you are parenting from your own trauma. You need to work on your own trauma. I didn't understand it at all. I was like, I don't know what is she saying. But that was the boon. And that's why my first book, it's called Little Parenting Guru, because he is my guru. He made me go within and understand. And I could then understand what was my trauma? What was it that I was not happy about? What were those patterns that I got from my mom and dad? I love them a lot, but what were those patterns which were unhealthy, which were not serving me, that I was passing on to my child? And I think I did go deeper. So I did EFT, then I did Touch for Health, then I did past life regression. I did, it was like a never ending thing. I'm still studying, I'm still learning, and I'm just continuing. So I think the more you know, the more you realize you don't know anything, So that's where I am.
Yes. Well, your son has definitely taught you a lot, and we are all grateful because you continue to serve in so many powerful ways. And clearly you have had and are having a lot of success. And how would you define success related to meaning and purpose for you?
Yeah, so that's again a beautiful question. I love it, because I think I was finding answer to success, and I was actually doing it in the first few years. Initially for me, it was like, if I have all cases full, like if I'm working 9 to 5, and if I have all what you call, like slots are full, that means I'm successful. But that happened very soon. And I was like, oh God, it's so easy. Now what? Like, what's my, what's my next level? Where do I go to? And then I recruited people working with me. And then, more cases, more cases, more cases, more cases. And then I realized my work is getting diluted. What I want to convey and what actually one of my friends told me that, Reena, what you speak, exactly those words, your therapist won't be able to speak, because you are you have your own signature, they have their own signature. And I didn't understand all of that, but I still continued growing. And I reached a point where I had like 25 therapists and a big therapy center and everything, and I was not happy. And I was like, no, this is not success. Having a lot of clients, having a lot of people working for you, earning a lot of money alone, that's not success. That's what I realized. Because earlier I thought, no, that's it. Like
a lot of people think that that's success, right? Having a very busy business, whether you're employed or self-employed, and making money or lots of money.
Yeah. So, and then I realized I need to do something different. I need to speak to everyone else. And how do I do it? And then I thought, let me do it on YouTube. But, I had my own inhibitions, maybe, in the first 1 year, I was like, should I talk? Shouldn't I? How would people receive it? I took time to, I think, make peace with my own conflict within me. Part of me was judging me, part of me wanted to grow, and I was like trying to make peace between those two parts within me. So that went on for a year, and then I started YouTube, and then I started speaking what I wanted to speak. And when it reached to people, I didn't get money out of YouTube. Of course, like I remember everybody used to say, you come on YouTube, you'll have lots of views, and by God's grace my channel is having a lot of views. But it was not just money, because I would get so much more from my consultation fees rather than like on YouTube. So I didn't get a lot of money. Then I was like, why are you making so many videos? Why? Like I was constantly asking myself, if money is not, then what is it that you want? Like, I remember making notes, asking myself, talking to myself, doing EFT for myself. What is that part that wants? And then I remember those are all the parts of my dad, my mom, grandmom, who are still living in me. Those principles are still living in me. They're still flowing in my blood. And they still want to be seen and heard, because I think that's a part of me that was there. And the more I was giving, the more I feel my dad telling me, Reena, wonderful. That's what I want you to do. My BG is my grandmom. Yes, Reena, that's what I want you to do. And I saw lots of people being helped. And, I don't know if this happens to everybody. And I was embarrassed of this initially. But whenever people would tell me, I'm so thankful this happened, I started crying. I used to just cry. Cry meaning, literally as if the tap is on. And I used to wonder, why am I crying? But those were tears where I felt, wow, I am doing what I want to do. So I think that's success for me now. And it's not, again, I ask these questions to myself. Are you externally referenced, Reena? Are you really thinking that they say it is good and that's why you're happy? Or your voice within you says that, Reena, you did a good job. What is more important to you? And I said, both are important, but the voice within me is more important, who praises me, appreciates me. And at the end of the day, when I sleep, put my head on my pillow, I say, wow, this was a great day. Even if I die tonight, it's okay. I have been doing my best. I think that's success for me.
Wow. And what happened for you in that moment when you were first working as an occupational therapist? You were seeing lots of clients. You had a very successful clinic as far as making lots of money and seeing a lot of people. What was happening inside of you that made you feel like, I need to go to another level? Like, what was missing? What do you feel was missing? Because I think a lot of people think that they want to get to what you had, but for you, it sounds like you're saying there was something else that was missing there for me.
I love talking and I love playing with kids. And the more my business initially grew, I saw it was more about managing people, doing trainings, managing the P&L, the profit and loss, balance sheet. Like I thought, no, yeah, this is not what I want. I can earn money. I mean, this is not what I want to do. Every time as I hired more and more people, part of me felt, no, no, no. It was as if I was, I was like pulling myself, and it's like, come on, Reena, come on, Reena. I was not happy doing what I was doing. I was really not happy. And now when I wake up today, I'm like, yay, I want to see kids. I'm going to be seeing new families. Why I'm going to do this? I feel there's this something that feels motivated. I'm not dragging myself. I am happy doing what I'm doing. So I think it was a lot of, I thought I was getting too much into that money, PNL, maintenance, training, like, I don't know. I was not very happy doing all of that. I felt dead. Literally, I felt dead. And a part of me said, this is not what you're meant for, Reena. And that voice will go stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger if you don't listen to it, I think.
And so now you're able to be more fully self-expressed.
Yes, completely. And I believe that I'm not, earlier I was really working. Meaning I was working 9 to 5 and doing a lot. Now I work only 4 to 5 hours a day. That's it. And the remaining hours I'm either studying or making videos, editing videos, spending time with my child, spending time with my family, talking, chit-chatting. We are always on vacation. We are going out. I love mountains. I love trekking. Now because of COVID we are stuck, but I think I'm doing what I want to do. I'm living my life. I'm not waiting for a vacation. Every weekend we are out, or every 2 months, we're not like going, okay, we are in India. I wouldn't come to US and UK. That also I may do, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to places where I love. I'm going to local places within India, but I'm happy doing that. I love to go on the mountain. I love to just sit there. I love to go on those, what are those Buddhist, what are those, like those dome shaped, I forget the name, like I just forget the name. So I love going to those caves, just sit there, meditate. And I think that's what I'm doing. I love doing what I'm doing. And I'm completely self-expressed. And it doesn't really matter to me whether people like my videos, they don't like my videos, people love my work, they don't love my work. No, literally, it's like, it's okay. I'm not in this world to make you happy. I am in this world to do what feels right to me. And that should make me happy, because if I'm in that state, I can do better things and I can help people. I will not always be able to help everyone. I will not always be able to be please everyone, and it's okay, people, that's where I've reached, I think.
And just to be clear, you still have your therapy center. So you are still working with clients, and you have your YouTube channel, and it sounds like you're writing and sharing information, right?
Yeah. So I still work, because working with kids, and when parents share those joys and challenges, it is still like what you call chicken soup for the soul. It's my soul food, and I need it on an everyday basis. Of course, it gives me it gives me the money that I need to live in this world, definitely. But it's also, it's amazing. So I'm still working. I see clients. I do a lot of trainings. I train a lot of therapists. I do a lot of parent trainings. I'm doing a lot of that, and I'm enjoying all of it. So I'm still doing it all, but I'm doing what I want to do, rather than, okay, do it because it's, oh, there's pressure, there's pressure, there's pressure. It's not like, okay, do it. It's like, okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do that. It's very easy, very easy.
And so it sounds like when you are fully self-expressed and serving how you want to serve, the success follows you.
It just follows. I just love what you just spoke, because when like as a child, like how you read Bible. So there's this book we read which is called Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. In that it says that if you just follow what your heart says, every little thing is going to follow you. You don't have to worry about it all. It will just follow you. But if you go run behind success, then you wouldn't get it. Just, it's like, just do what your heart tells you. I think the best thing is listen to your intuition, follow your heart, and just be happy within. That's all. I tell this story. I have told this story, I think 150, 200, I don't know how many times. And I say this, it's like, that coffee cup. I think you must have also heard that story. It's like that coffee cup. When somebody comes and pushes me and I say, what spills out? And they say coffee. And I'm like, no, lime juice needs to spill out. They said, how is it possible? If there's coffee inside, coffee will spill out. So it's like where there's happiness within you, you'll attract everything within you. Because if somebody comes and pushes you, you're not going to get irritated or bugged because you feel peaceful within. You'll be peaceful and compassionate towards the other person, So that's what I feel. And success just follows you because you're so grounded. You are vibrating at a level. You're not at those lower level. I mean, I think you know this better than me. I mean, I'm not vibrating at those jealousy and like those lower level emotions. When you are in that state of gratitude, your state of like appreciation, you just attract everything. And you don't do it because you want to attract. You do it because you just want to live every day. You're just enjoying the process of growing.
Well, I was going to ask you, what advice would you give to someone to help them find more meaning through service? And it sounds like you just gave some great suggestions there. Is there anything else, any other advice you would give someone?
Just listen to that voice within you. It always knows, it really knows. Because I think it was always there. And I think it's true for all of us. It's always there since childhood. And then in the 20s or so, we want to work, of course. And we feel that voice is stupid, somewhere we start feeling, the science and studying, research, everything is important. But I think that combining science and spirituality, marriage of the voice within you with the science that we learn is going to make you super powerful,
So what does God mean to you?
So God has changed for me from my childhood. Earlier, I thought, ever since I was a child, I was always told that God he doesn't have any form, he doesn't have any shape, he exists. That's what I always knew. He exists. That's all that I knew. I used to call him Vaheguru. That's the name that I use when I talk to him within me between my 2 years. But then I think as I grew up, I have realized God is everywhere. He's everywhere. And by that, what I mean is, he will come. He will come and show itself, herself, himself. I don't know, he or she or whatever. But he or she will come as synchronicities, and he will always be there to guide you. So when I wanted to start my YouTube channel, this may sound silly, but a lizard kept coming in my hall. And I never understood why it was coming. And we never had lizards. I tried searching how to get rid of lizards. I got rid of them. And then I went to the clinic and I saw again a lizard in my room. Like I had such a big center, only in my room lizards. I'm like, Arey, what's happening? Then I went to another center. So I had 3 centers once. And then I went to the other center, again a lizard. I'm like, Arey, what's happening? Like, why is this lizard coming again and again? I didn't understand synchronicity at that time. I just thought it's just coming, and I need to get rid of it. That's what I thought. Then we went on a vacation and I said, wow, I told my husband, wait. These are such beautiful crops. I want to stand there next, take a photo and put it on Facebook, And I went near this crop and there's this tree there. And from that tree, there's this big lizard and like trying to look. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like it can't be another lizard. And then we are driving. We were like 3 families and those 3 cars have gone and our 4th car and this big lizard, those big ones in those fields is crossing the road and we had to stop and wait. He let it cross the road. I'm like, enough. Then I spoke to some friends of mine who were into trying to, she said, try and get the message, meditate and understand what is this lizard trying to tell you. And lizards always believe in their instincts. And when I meditated, I got the message, believe in your instincts. I'm like, oh. And when I got that message, it stopped appearing. It stopped coming. I was like, oh, that's what it is. Then I was like, oh, so that's what was God to me. That lizard was God to me. Then whenever there was a change happening, a butterfly would come and kept circling around me. And I was like, oh, now what is it? And butterfly was telling me, it's okay. See, change is coming, but it's going to be beautiful. You were a caterpillar and now you're going to become a butterfly. So it's going to be beautiful. It may feel a little difficult for you, but don't worry. Hold on. It's going to be beautiful. So what I feel is sometimes this bird comes to me, sometimes like now my husband was he had a surgery, a big surgery, and I was scared. I knew it'll be fine, but part of me was scared. And in that hospital, on that floor, I saw this eagle came, it looked into my eyes, as if it really literally looked into my eyes. It was such a big hospital, it could go to any other floor. It came right across my window, looked into my eyes, as if it was trying to tell me it's okay, things are going to be fine. So sometimes a bird comes to me, sometimes a lizard comes to me, sometimes a caterpillar comes to me, and they keep coming till I get the message. So I feel God is now coming to me in so many different ways. He will somewhere write down something. Maybe I'm passing, through some place and I saw this board. I think God keeps appearing, keeps giving me messages, and He says, see. So I believe God is now in my synchronicities, and whenever I need a message, He'll appear some way and He'll give me a message and just go away. So that's what God is for me now.
Reena, I could listen to you all day. So yes, God is in those synchronicities. And I think that's gives us all an opportunity to pay attention to those signs. And maybe even when we're on the right path, those synchronicities show up to be with us.
Yeah.
So you've written a couple of books, and can you just share, is there anything that you would like to share about the books you've written?
So my first book was Little Parenting Guru. Now that book was like, very little, I would say very light, easily it can be digested, very basic, where I'm just sharing interactions with my son, where how, like it's like snippets of my interaction with my son, where he is triggering me and I'm trying to control, and I'm trying to tell me it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, and calming myself down. So that's what it is about, because those are the kinds of moments every parent would feel. You tell your child brush your teeth, he's not going to listen to you. You tell him wear your shoes, he's not going to listen to you. You sit, put your things in place, he's not going to listen to you. And how those moments are moments where it gives us opportunities to grow as a person. So that's what that book is about. uh, and I call it guru because my son is my guru. He's my guru. Guru is like a teacher. He taught me how to go deep within myself and find my own self. I haven't yet found myself, I'm still discovering, but that's what I think. So that's what the title meant. It's little because he's so little, but he's my guru. And not just my son, but all the other kids who come to me are my gurus. And that's why my second book, it's called Looking Beyond Labels, because I think, when we say autism, or when we say ADHD, or when we say whatever name, it's good that we need to know the label, but we need to see the child beyond that label also. The label doesn't define the child. When I was young, I was very stubborn. Young, matlab, when I was little girl, as in 5-year-old or whatever, and my mom used to say, she's stubborn, she's stubborn, she's stubborn, and that was a label that was given to me. It always hurts me even now. When that word stubborn is used, it has an emotional charge on me even now. So I feel that book means looking beyond labels. Yeah, your child has a diagnosis, but your child is much more than the diagnosis. And becoming a mindful parent, meaning I have shared a lot of stories on how kids who are differently wired are teachers to us, and how we can use those challenges, those tantrums, those meltdowns as opportunities to grow on our spiritual path. That's how I see it.
Wonderful. So is there anything else you would like to share before we wind down, Reena?
You can post my YouTube link for parents who would want more resources. And I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm just grateful, and I'm thankful for this opportunity. I never thought I would speak all of this, and I never thought you would ask me to speak on such a topic. I thought you'll talk about something else, but like talking to you has given me even more clarity on what I've been doing for the last so many years. So thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I am grateful too to speak with you, and I know that this is very inspiring for all of us. And is there a website? So if you would just want to mention your website and your YouTube channel, and we'll definitely put that in the description below as well.
Yeah, so if you can just put Reena Singh, my complete name, REENASINGH, and YouTube Reena Singh. If you put, you'll get my videos. And our website is Khushi, KHUSHI .net for India. So that's what my website is.
Beautiful. Reena, this is such a joy and a pleasure to be with you. And I wish you continued and much, much great success for you and all the people you have the honor to serve.
Thank you so much. I love those words, honor to serve. It is actually an honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you all for being with us, and be well. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.